please hit that subscribe button.
Hey everybody.
Better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Arizona Coyotes as I continue my 3 Reasons Why series. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 reasons why the Arizona Coyotes will make the playoffs this year and 1 reason they will not. Before I start, I just quickly want to remind everyone to please hit that subscribe button and follow along for all my hockey content. And give this video a thumbs up. Those likes really go a long way in helping the video and helping the channel. So it's very, very much appreciated. So let's get into it here. The Arizona Coyotes currently outside of the playoff picture with 70 points in the Western Conference. Out on because they've played more games than everyone else, tied with Nashville in Winnipeg at 70 points, but they've played more games, so they are on the outside looking in. Let's start with 3 reasons why they will make the playoffs this year. And number 1, their goaltender, Darcy Kuemper. Darcy Kuemper is back for Arizona, and that is the biggest thing that could have happened to them for the final month of the season here. Kuemper was injured on December 19th, missed about 2 months of action, and Arizona really struggled without their starting goaltender, and it really hurt them in the standings. It really hurt them with regards to playoff position. But Kuemper is back now, and Kuemper is having an absolutely incredible season this year. Was having a Vezina-level season before he got injured with a .929 save percentage and a 2.17 goals against average. I've said, the entire time that he was out, that Arizona needed their goalie back. They needed Kuemper back, playing at that level to get into the postseason. Well, now he is back. They need him to come back and play at that Vezina level that he was before. And if he does that, I think that they will make the playoffs because they'll be able to start winning games again. They'll be able to consistently, put some win streaks together. And rather than just, playing 500 hockey and alternating win-loss, like they have been for so much of the last couple months, they might be able to pull off 3, 4, 5 wins in a row now with Darcy Kuemper back in goal, playing at a high level. And him coming back is probably the best possible scenario for Arizona making the playoffs this season. Reason number 2 that the Coyotes will make the playoffs this year, team defense. They are one of the best defensive teams in the NHL this year, only giving up 176 goals on the season. They're fantastic defensively. They're one of the top defensive teams in the entire league, and getting Kuemper back to keep the puck out of the net as well as this team defense is absolutely huge for the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, you look at them and there are teams that are a little bit better defensively, but not many. Arizona is right up there with the best in the league as far as goals against go. So if they make the playoffs, it's largely going to be because they win these low-scoring 2-1, 3-2 type games, and that's what they're going to have to do if they are going to make the playoffs this season. They're going to have to win those kind of games. And, they still got a month left here to make up some points and do it, and we'll see what happens. But scoring, not Arizona's top thing at all. They struggle to put the puck in the net. They're a low scoring team, but defensively they're absolutely outstanding, one of the best in the league, and if they make the playoffs, that is going to be a big reason why. And the number 3 reason that the Arizona Coyotes will make the playoffs this season, divisional games. They have a lot of divisional games left remaining on their schedule. And that's absolutely huge because divisional games are basically 4-point games. They're not just, they're not just 2-point games like most. They're 4-point games because when you win a divisional game in regulation, you not only get the 2 points, but you stop your divisional opponent who you are fighting for playoff position with from getting 2 points as well. So it's really a 4-point swing in the standings, and those games are going to be absolutely huge for Arizona. If they make the playoffs, they need to win a large majority of these divisional games left on their schedule. They play Vancouver 3 more times this season, of a team that's just ahead of them in the standings. They play Calgary again this season. They play Vegas twice 2 more times in March the rest of this year. They play LA again. They play San Jose again. They have a lot of divisional games left on their schedule. If they win those games, they will have a much greater chance of getting into the playoffs than obviously if they don't. They need to come out in those divisional matchups and get 2 points. And they can make up a lot of ground in the standings if they do that. I mean, looking at it, they're only 2 points back of Calgary. They're tied in points with Nashville and Winnipeg. They're not in the same division, obviously, but for a wild card spot, they're only 4 points back of Vancouver and Edmonton. Arizona can still do this. I know they're out right now, but they can still do this. They can make up some points with all these divisional matchups and pass teams like Calgary or Vancouver or Edmonton possibly. The possibility is there if they win those divisional games. Those are going to be absolutely massive for them. So those are the 3 reasons why Arizona will get into the playoffs if they do. Darcy Kuemper's return, overall team defense, and winning divisional games because they have a lot of those left on their schedule. Now, let's talk about the one reason that they will not make the playoffs this year. Games in hand. Arizona has already played more games than everyone else around them in the standings. They've played 66 games already. Winnipeg's played 65, so Winnipeg has a game in hand. Nashville has only played 62, so they have 4 games in hand on the Arizona Coyotes. They're tied in points right now, so they have 4 extra games to make up that just 1 point and go ahead of Arizona in the standings. Minnesota, who's right behind Arizona right now, 3 points behind, but they have 4 games in hand. They've also only played 62 games. Edmonton has 2 games in hand. They've only played 64. Vancouver has 4 games in hand. They've only played 62. So all of these teams around Arizona who are very close to them in points, and they're fighting for points-wise, they all have games in hand on Arizona, which means they get extra games the rest of the way to make up that point difference. And all they have to do is get 1 or 2 extra points, and they're ahead of Arizona now in the standings. And that might be the thing that keeps Arizona out of the playoffs this year, is the fact that they've played more games already than everyone else to get to those 70 points. And all these other teams have games in hand on them. So when everything evens out at 82 games at the end of the season, these other teams are going to have more opportunities to pass them in the standings because they just haven't played as many games yet as the Coyotes have. So that's going to be tough. Arizona's going to have to find a way to win a large majority of their remaining games, and they also need these other teams to lose those games in hand that they have. So it's not entirely in Arizona's hands at this point. Obviously, they still need to win and keep winning games because they'll certainly be out if they don't do that. But even if they win a lot of their remaining games, other teams have more remaining games, more of a chance to pick up extra points and more of a chance to pass them in the standings. So that, I think, will be the number one thing that keeps them out of the playoffs if they don't make it this year. The fact that they've already played more games than everyone else and these other teams around them have those games in hand. So there is my 3 reasons why video for the Arizona Coyotes. 3 reasons why they will make the playoffs and 1 reason why they won't. If I had to make a prediction, guys, unfortunately, I do think that Arizona gets left on the outside looking in. And that's going to be a really, really tough for them. They expected to be a playoff team this year, especially with the first half of the season that they had. But then losing Darcy Kuemper absolutely derailed their season. They weren't able to win consistently without him. And it might be too little too late now with Kuemper's return for the final month of the season. I talked yesterday about how bad that would be, make the Taylor Hall deal look if they don't even make the playoffs this year after going out and getting him. And then if he leaves this summer in free agency, that's even worse. But I think Arizona unfortunately gets left on the outside looking in just because Nashville has 4 games in hand. Minnesota, Vancouver all have 4 games in hand. Edmonton has 2 games in hand. These teams just, they have these extra games now to make up those points, and a lot of them are already ahead of Arizona in the standings. I think those games in hand are going to come back to kill the Coyotes, and they're going to be one of those first couple teams on the outside and looking in the West, but I don't think they get in this season. That's just my opinion, though. And we're obviously going to have to wait and see what happens the rest of the year, as we've still got, about 15 to 20 games left for all these teams remaining in the season. So still plenty of time for things to change. But that's my opinion. There's my 3 reasons why video for Arizona. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.